Alright, this is a brand new video. Today is June the 6th. We're in Eugene, Coburg, C-O-R-B-U-R-G, just about 8 miles north of Eugene, Oregon, which has been one of our favorite spots. It's a beautiful place. I like it a whole lot better than California, but anyway, we're here for our annual service. We spent 3 nights right over here, which was free. They worked on it during the day, and yesterday was just a little too late to leave, but it only took them about a day and 3/4, but we parked right over there. But if you're ever in this part of the country and need diesel work done, right there's a place to come. These people were just so professional, it was incredible. We just got hooked up, brand new video. I promise it won't be like this, industrial. Eugene yesterday and drove to Salem and spent the night in a Wally World, and now left Salem about an hour ago and we're in Portland. Run along the Willamette River, which runs up here and runs into Columbia River. But this Portland, nice ride, pretty day, hot, 90 degrees today. Through the bus window, but you got to do what you got to do. There's old downtown Portland there, and this is the Willamette River right down here. Portland, Oregon, getting close to the Washington border, about 8 or 9 miles.
We're in downtown Portland, Oregon, the old Pioneer Courthouse. They turned this into a park. It's a Monday morning, June 8th. Weather's great. A lot of folks around. Nice park. Nice area. This is a very large copper statue designed about 30 years ago. It's on the Portland building. It's a city administration building. The name of the statue is the Portlandia, a mythical figure on their seal. This building was designed by Michael Graves. It's a postmodern type, new for its time.
It's called the Columbia River Gorge. There's a Columbia River. There's a thing over there in the middle called the Vista House. And this is where Lewis and Clark were getting close to the Pacific Ocean after all that stuff they went through. This goes down by Portland and then goes out to the ocean. So this is where they came, right here, near their finish. The Columbia River, and just for your information, that's Interstate 84 down there, running right along the shores.
This is one of the highest waterfalls in North America. It's in the Columbia River Gorge. It's actually 2 waterfalls, and it's over 600 feet. There's the first one, and it flows under here, and I'll get the second one from below.
All right, here we go. This is one of the highest waterfalls in North America. Monoma, I think how you pronounce it. Jenny went up there a while ago, and I just didn't feel like making that trek far. I'd hate to be piddling around up there in that little stream river on a inner tube. This place is packed. This is June the 8th afternoon. We've just been up to the falls and went Lewis and Clark up there. And there's Mount Hood. I just had to stop here on the highway and show you a vista of Mount Hood right there in the middle.
We're leaving Portland, Oregon, going through a tunnel right downtown, the residential area. It goes under a mountain, pops out on the other side, going to the coast. Again, another mountain range.
It's June the 10th, and we're at the mouth of the Columbia River. This is where Lewis and Clark ended their expedition. This is what they were looking for. It took them 18 months, and when they left Pittsburgh, Jefferson told them that their goal was to find the Pacific Ocean. And here it is. This is the mouth of the Columbia River. Not much to see. It's very hazy. What? We're on the Washington side. We crossed the Columbia River a while ago over a big old bridge, and this is it. This mouth of the Columbia River.
This is the Cape Disappointment Lighthouse. It was called Cape Disappointment because an English sea captain was trying to find the mouth of the Columbia River. They knew it was here, and he passed by it. He didn't see it. It was all shoaled over. There were a lot of giant sandbars. There was no direct entrance into the Columbia River. he passed over it and got to this little area, and he just called it Cape Disappointment because he was so disappointed. Only a few years later, an American captain found the opening, and then a few years after that's when Lewis and Clark came over here.
This is an interesting little poster. I'm going to try to do it where you can read everything. Hope I don't miss anything. How about that? Did you get it? Here's the object. What Jefferson told Meriwether. Another perspective of the mouth of the Columbia River. That far shoreline over there is where we were yesterday. That's on the Washington side, but there's a Columbia River entrance right. I'm trying to hide behind some of this structure to get a little wind protection. But I'm glad I'm not where these dudes right here are. It's cold, wind's blowing. Today's January the 11th. I mean June, I'm sorry, June the 11th. Pacific Ocean, right at the mouth of the Columbia River. They built this jetty to keep the mouth from closing in with sand. After Lewis and Clark discovered the mouth of the Columbia River, where it went into the Pacific, they came back up river a little bit and went to a little bay called Young's Bay, and down a river right off the main Columbia River, the big part, probably about 10 miles inland, and built this. This is a replica of a fort they built called Fort Clatsop, and they spent the winter here. They had to have a place to spend the winter before they decided to head back to St. Louis. 33, I think there were 33 people in the party, in the expedition party, and this is where they spent the winter. A replica of one of the dugout canoes they built and used. Today is June the 12th, I'm sorry, and that's the bridge in Astoria, Oregon, that crosses the Columbia River. And this bay out here, which comes in from the ocean, is, what's the name?
Young's Bay.
Young's Bay. Right back up here is where Lewis and Clark went up there and built that fort I showed you a little bit ago. And it's a pretty country, but this is very significant. I don't know why. I know you're sick of Lewis and Clark, but I just thought they were fascinating what they did. But there's a bridge in Astoria, Oregon, that crosses the Columbia River. A little bit better shot of that bridge. By the way, the Columbia River across the way in the distance there is Washington. That's the border between Oregon and Washington, about 2/3 of the way east, and then the Columbia River turns north, and from there it's like a straight line over to Idaho, the border, southern border. Little geography there. We're crossing the Columbia River again. This is the first time in the bus, and we're coming into Longview, Washington State. And over there, between these girders, you can see that snow-capped mountain is Mount St. Helens, which blew up in 1980, according to my source here. Got some logs. You need some logs. Coming into Washington.
This is Mount St. Helens in southern Washington State. It erupted in May of 1980. Last major eruption of a volcano in the United States. Jimmy Carter was president. This is a scar where all the debris flowed down here. This is the Tuttle River. A bunch of debris went all the way out to the Columbia River and plugged up the shipping channel between Portland, Oregon and the Pacific. Locked up a bunch of ships in the port. We're on our way.
20 miles.
got about another 20 miles to go to get up there. We're around 2,000 feet elevation right now. We're looking at the north side of Mount St. Helens where the eruption occurred, and it happens that it's very near Mount Rainier, which we're going to in a couple of days. It's kind of close, but by car it's probably over 100 miles. So this is where the whole top and this north side of Mount St. Helens blew out, and all that stuff came out this direction.
Wrapping up this video, I'm going to start a new one because I got a little stuff to tell you about Mount St. Helens in the video.